Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the call today. My name is Tanvir Ahmed, and I'm an implementation manager at SimTrain. I take care of the end-to-end implementation from defining the scope and client requirements to creating deployment plans and training plans, and then taking care of the entire implementation. So today, we would be covering an important topic in this tips and tricks session for you guys, which is user management, team management, and how we can assign sims and modules to those users and teams. It's a critical topic because it plays a very critical part for deployment of the new onboardings and coachings. So yeah, we thought of covering this for you. And if you have any questions, suggestions, feedback for this one, please feel free to interrupt me or drop your questions in the chat box. But I really appreciate you all taking your time off today for this session. So before wasting some more time, let's get started. So for the people who are new to SimTrain, I'll just give you a basic overview what SimTrain is. So at SimTrain, we try to simulate coachings and role plays for you based on the scripts and screen navigation visuals provided by your site to ensure that the role plays and coachings are covering the most operational success factors for you. And it is improving your KPIs such as CSATs, AHT, and all. Now, at SimTrain, there are multiple factors we take care of while implementing this tool for you. And the first part is taking care of user management. In user management, what we do, we try to add your trainees, your trainers, your org admins as a user into our platform. We try to create teams to ensure we track the performance based on the managers you have. And then we also try to ensure that all your SIMs modules are organized and assigned in an organized manner when it comes to assignment and training deployments. So I'll start with the homepage. So this is the basic homepage which appears in the user management portal. And on the top right side, you can see there are multiple roles which can be assigned to a user. And I'll just give you brief overview: org admin, sim creator, manager, and trainee. So each role has access to the below roles it has. So for example, org admins, they will have access to sim creation, manager, and they can also check simulations as a trainee. Sim creators will have access as manager and trainee. Manager will have access to manager reports and trainee. And then trainee will only have access to the assigned sims and playbacks which are assigned to them. Apart from that, they won't be able to see anything else. Now coming to the org admin part, this is the dedicated role we have created for you, which takes care of user management, team management. And when it comes to creating sims and assigning those sims to the users, that's where the sim creator role comes into the picture. So today we would be focusing more on the org admin part. But yeah, now the initial phase of user management starts with adding some users into the platform. So to add some users into the platform, we start with changing the role to org admin, and then you will be able to see the actions for users and teams. Now, if you want to add the users, you can simply click on add button, and then you will see there are two options. The first one is to add users individually, wherein you can add their details individually, such as first name, last name, email address, and then it will be added. But if you have an entire training batch, let's say you have 20 people, 25 people, and you want to bulk upload them, even that is possible with SimTrain. For example, this is how it works when we click on add new user. You just need to mention some details, for example, first name, last name, their email address, wherein they can get the welcome email from SimTrain. This welcome email will come from support@simtrain.com, and it will include some critical information such as your login URL, the username which they need to use for login, and the temporary password. They need to utilize the temporary password to create a new and permanent one. Now, the best practice for username is we keep it as email because that is easy to remember. But if you have certain unique identifiers in your company, for example, there are some IDs which is a combination of first name, last name, and employee ID. Even you can use that one. That will be help to identify your critical factors such as mapping the unique ID with the reportings we have or with the reportings you guys have internally. So that's where the unique identifiers can help. But yeah, best practice is to keep email and username same. which is easy to remember. So once you have filled the details, then it will ask you which role you want to assign for that particular user. Now, the multiple roles can be assigned at a time. And for example, if you want to assign a role to a trainee who just want to check the modules or sims assigned to them, that's where we will be keeping trainee as a role. But if you want them to give access to the manager portals, or if you want to give them access to creating sims, that's where you can change the access accordingly. So once it's done, you can simply click on add user and it will appear in the user management portal the way I have created a test user. Now, if you want to bulk upload an entire training batch, even that is possible and it's very easy. You can simply click on import/update users. Now, that's where the template comes into picture. We already have a ready-made template for you. You can simply click on download template and it will download the template for you. It's very easy to understand. And once you have filled the details into the template, you can simply upload it here and then add the users. I'll show you the example of the template. This is how the template looks like. It is a .csv format file with simple fields, simple identifiers such as first name, last name, username, email address, the role you want to assign. So for example, to showcase you all the roles, I have mentioned everything. For example, org admin, sim creator will be mentioned as creator here in this file. We have manager and then trainee. Division, you can keep blank, that is for backend purpose. Then we have two more fields, which is status and action. Now, whenever we are adding new trainees or new users into the platform, the status and action is always going to be active and add, because we want those users to be active in the platform and we are adding them into the platform. But let's say you have some users already in the platform and you want to deactivate their access. That's where you will use status as inactive and then action is going to be update. Why update? Because they are already in the platform. We are not adding them, we are updating them. So two unique actions, two unique statuses, and then rest are the simple fields which we need to fill based on the user details you have. So once you have the details mentioned into the file, you can save it in your local system and then you can click here, upload the file, and then it will add users for you. Simply need to upload it and it will add users for you. Now you will see some errors. Now those errors are because I already utilized these email addresses in my platform. So if you have certain email addresses which you already have in the system, that's where it will give you error because we cannot use multiple email address for one user. It will also give error because I have mentioned status for someone as inactive and update, though they does not exist in the system right now. So just wanted to showcase you different types of error uh, uh, we can observe while uploading the file, but it will give you clear explanation what type of error you are facing, and then you can change the details in the file and upload it again. So for example, you can see user with the email already exists. That's where it will give you an idea that okay, this user is already there in the platform, and it is just to avoid the duplicate entries. Now you can see this does not exist. Now why it is asking me that this does not exist? It should have created this user if it does not exist already. But it won't create because for that particular user, I am using inactive and update status. And since they don't exist in the platform, it won't allow me to create the user and then update their status. If I could have kept this as active and add for this particular user, that's where I could have add the user already in the platform. But yeah, this is how you can identify basic errors which you can overcome by just changing certain details in the field of the CSV file. Once done, you will see the users here. For example, you can see my ID and then I have a test user. Now let's say there is a user for whom you want to change the password. So once they click on forgot email, either there is some system issue or some local issues with due to which they are unable to reset their password. So org admins, they have this access wherein they can reset passwords for the users into the platform. And it's very simple. You just need to click on this pen button, which says edit user details. Once you click on it, you will see reset user password. It will generate a new temporary password for the user. You can simply copy it. Now, we don't recommend you to type this because sometimes there are certain alphabets which are similar when we type it. For example, uh, the alphabet I and small l, they look very similar. So it is highly recommend that you copy it and paste it to the user so that they can directly copy and log in and create a new and temporary password. So now, once you have users added into the platform, you can see that you can manage their access here and you can delete the user as well, but it is not recommended that you delete the user because their execution data, if you want to retain their data, their performance data, execution data, it's highly recommended that you just deactivate them and not delete them. So just in case if you want to activate them in near future, that will be really easy for you. You can log in and just toggle it on. Now, once we have some users into the platform, then the teams comes into the picture. Now, why we want to create teams? There are certain factors which helps through the teams portal. So for example, if you want to track performance for multiple teams, wherein we have multiple managers, that's where it will help us. You can download the teams report and you will be able to compare the performance. And it will also help in organizing the simulations and modules because rather than assigning the sims and modules individually to each user, it is highly recommended that you assign the modules or sims to the entire team. And then you can always change the team members you have in a particular team. For example, I have one user in these two teams, but no users in these two teams. And to show you how you can add users, you can simply click on pen button. And now you can see how many users are already there in the platform on the left side. So right now, no users, but on the right side, you will see all the users we have in this platform. So if you want to add all of them, just select them, add to the team. If you want to rename the team, you can rename it here. If the team size looks good, you can simply click on save and then it will update the numbers from 0 to 2. Here you go. So this is how team is utilized. It is really helpful when we assign some modules or sims to them. So let's say if you have 5 LOBs within you, so you can create 5 teams for those LOBs. So it will be really easy for you to assign LOB1 sim to team LOB1. So that's where when the trainee executes the sim as a trainee, they will only see the content which is assigned for LOB1. So this is really helpful in organizing the simulations and modules, and that's where we utilize. Now, if you want to create teams with bulk user file, even that is an option. You can simply click on add team. It will ask you to give team a name. You can simply give your team a name. And then if you want to download a template, if you want to bulk upload users into that team, you can do that. And template is pretty similar, or we can say it is more simple than the user import file. I'll show you the sample. So this is how the template for Teams looks like. You just have two simple fields, username and email address. So update usernames for all the users which you want to upload in this particular team, their email address, and then upload this file, and you will be able to add those users into the team. But there's a catch. So you cannot add users into the team directly. Those users should be into the platform first, and then only they can be added into the team. So if you have 15 users into the platform, then only those 15 users can be entered here and then uploaded as a team. If they are not there in the platform, then it is recommended that you add them utilizing this file. Once they are added, then only you can add them as a team. Because it is required when we add users into the team, the system should know what type of users you are uploading, whether they are creators, managers, org admins, or trainees. So to ensure that the system is aware what type of users we are uploading, that's where the system is asking us to upload the users first. and then add those users into the team. But yeah, basic things. But any questions so far, team, on user management, team management? Cool. So now there is one more question we have been asked frequently, like we have a user and you want to add that user into multiple teams. So is it recommended that I add that user individually one by one to each team? But to make that easy, Simtrain already has a solution for that. So you don't have to add that particular user in each team separately. What you can simply do, you can just go to the users portal, edit the user, and then you will see the team option. Click on add teams. And then once you search it, all the teams which you have created into this platform will appear here as a drop down. So let's say I write demo. You can see all the teams are already there. So demo team 1, and then we have demo team 4. So you can see I added 2 more teams. And then once I save the changes, this particular user has been a part of 4 teams now rather than just 2. So pretty easy. You don't have to add a user separately into teams one by one. You can add that user simultaneously into multiple teams as well. Because there are certain org admins or certain managers who are part of each and every team and they are interested in looking for the reportings or sim execution for all the teams. That's where this feature will be highly useful for you. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover with you all today, wherein we covered the user management, adding users, managing their access, some best practices, whether we need to delete a user or deactivate a user. It is always recommended that we deactivate a user so that we can retain their execution data, reporting data, and we can activate them in future as well. Then we learned about teams, how we can create multiple teams, add one user into multiple teams all together, and then uh, assigning the SIMs to them and how it helps organizing SIMs and modules when it comes to managing multiple LOBs or vendors within SIMTray. I'll open up the session for question and answers, or if you want to discuss anything apart from user management, if you have any concerns related to SIM creation, reporting, editing, user management, please feel free to drop your questions on the chat box, or you can come off mute and you can discuss your concerns, feedback as well. We have 5 or 4 minutes left into this session. Yes, please. Yes, Everardo.
First of all, I apologize for coming in a little late. I've been working on that three-way called Sim Train, man, and I'm having to have three different voices on there, right? So I was finding it a
Yep,
little difficult, right? And so I was going through it, and I was almost done with it, and then I realized that we have the tips and tricks, and so that's why I joined late. And also I wanted to request if you can help me with it after we're done with this meeting.
for sure, for sure. I saw your email.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
for sure reach out to you. Yep,
All right. No worries. All right. Thank you
yep,
then. Appreciate your help.
yep. Thank you, Everardo.
All right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Any questions, suggestions, feedback for us? Anything related to SimTrain, not just limited to user or team management. Don't have anything else, any questions? Uh, I guess it's good time to wrap up the session. But yeah, we are always here for you to help. So if you have any questions later on, please feel free to reach out to the implementation manager or any point of contact you have from SimTrain, and we would be glad to help you with the concern. But yeah, I really
And,
appreciate your
and we'll
time
get
today.
and Tim, we'll get feedback from everyone if this session was helpful and future topics that they'd be looking for.
For
Either
sure.
through,
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I mean, team, just a quick request for you all. Please let us know on the chat box like what type of topics you might be interested in future, which we want to cover uh, in terms of tips and tricks or best practices. Let's say you have some opportunities when it comes to sim creation, or you have some confusion or curiosity in terms of sim train. Please let us know, and we would ensure that the topic is listed down for our future sessions. Thank you so much, team. It's time to wrap up the session.
Thank
I
you.
hope you all have a
Thank
great
you, sir.
week. Thank you again. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Tamir.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.